morning. Another early start for me today. So it's just coming up to 5 o'clock in the morning. And I've chosen another mark, not too far from where I'm staying again. It's more or less in between Colwell Bay and Yarmouth. And it's a mark known as Fort Victoria. And there's the fort. Now we came here for an afternoon a couple of days ago in the lovely weather. Nice cafe over there, some toilets there as well. And yeah, had a really nice relaxing afternoon. Sat here, finding a little bit of shade from the fort. Saw a few people come up and start having a chat, so I thought fair game. Spoke to a few of them, and it is a mark that can produce. I've been told that out in front of me here is very deep water, very close in. Talking about 60 foot. So I'm gonna set up one rod as I normally do, have a little go, test the water. Lovely sunrise just coming up there, as you can see. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'll get a rod put together and go through the bits and pieces later on. Okay, I'm all set up with one rod. I'm going to start off with my usual sort of starting gambit, which is a pennel rig, and I've baited that up with a whole mini squid, and we're going to start off with a 5-ounce lead. I've just had a quick lead around, very deep, not quite sure what the tide pool is going to be, but I'm going to put this one out, see what happens. Hell of a drop, and the 60 feet I was told, it definitely feels like 60 feet. So providing the tide pool's not too much, should be okay. I'm going to set the clutch, so if it does go off all of a sudden I won't lose my rod. I've actually switched the reels over today, or this morning, to braid, and that's £50 braid on there. Someone was telling me that you can get quite a bit of problem with the weed, and it's easier to get off with a braid. Plus the fact I would have thought when you, or if you hook anything down in that deep water, you've got to bring it up over this ledge. So with that in mind, I took his advice and changed over to the braid. So we'll see what happens. The sun's now really climbing up over there. It's lovely. Look at that. There's another guy here already. He's had a few chucks for bass with the lure, but he didn't stay. I think he was picking up quite a bit of weed closer in. So hopefully with the bait rods, won't be as bad. A little bit of details about where I'm fishing today. This mark's called Fort Victoria, and basically it's like a tourist attraction. It's an old fort and it's got like a museum in there, gift shop, cafe, toilets, and it's all free parking here as well, which is unusual. We've had to pay quite a lot for parking all around the island, different places. It's free parking here. It's unrestricted, so you can come and go early or late. This morning that wind has swung back to northeasterly, which is, it was only southwesterly literally for a day. So it's supposed to later on swing back south, but you can actually feel that nip in the air this morning. back from the northeasterlies. So I'm about 3 hours before high tide. So the idea today is I'll probably fish it to the top of the tide, then an hour down, and then assess it from there, see what the weed situation's like, whether it's snaggy, and obviously what the fishing's like. But with the weather like this and that sunrise, it was worth getting up for that. But we shall see. I've been out there about 5 minutes, haven't had no interest yet. One thing I was warned about fishing this mark, when we was walking around the other day, there was a guy just turning up to fish a competition. And they fish like rover competitions where they can go where they like, as long as they got like a witness with them. And basically he turned up here and started setting up just along here. And he said at the moment they're having a lot of trouble with the spider crabs. Not so much biting you off, but the fact there's been a massive great molt with this warm weather. There's been a big molt of spider crabs and they're all starting to peel. And he reckons the fish are so preoccupied on those, if you haven't got spider crab baits, you're going to struggle. So can't really get hold of any spider crab. I mean, all the people, the locals, have been freezing them down ready for this time when they start molting. So we should just have to stick with what we've got today. I've got ragworm and squid again, and this may possibly be my last session of this holiday, so I'll probably not keep much of it today when I'm finished. Got a few more days, and I'll sort of relax a bit in the next few days, get out and see a few more places we haven't been to. Yeah, it's been a really cracking holiday so far. The weather, you couldn't have asked for better. So many places to fish on this island, you're spoilt for choice. The original plan for this session would have been fishing down the other end of the island. That was going to be on a beach down the other side of Sandown called Yavaland, big sandy beach where you get the rays, and they get various varieties of rays, and I wanted to have a go at those, but the weed down there has been absolutely horrendous. When we had a drive down to Ventnor and Shanklin last week, it was masses of rafts of weed. You just could not fish. So I phoned up the tackle shop 2 days ago and said it's the same, it's still swamped out with weed, so that's a non-event really. This side of the island you do get some, but not as much as down there, so that's why I've concentrated on this side. Also it's not so much driving, so anyway, we shall settle back down now, enjoy the rest of this sunrise, and then get back to you if anything happens. I haven't had any activity on it, so I think I'm going to reel it in, have a look at the bait, check everything's okay. Yeah, that's been chomped, possibly crabs. You can see what I mean by the weed. With that braid, any weed that's on the line, it literally just saws through it. Even the leader knot comes straight through. So let's have a rebait and get it back out. something on that straight away. Something rattling around on there. Still there. Something's rattling at it. It's probably a little fish. The trouble is, or not the trouble, but the thing is with a braid, it's so no stretch that every little tap shows up as a massive great knock, like that. That's nice to see a bit of interest anyway. What I might do if I keep getting these little knocks is quickly put a little flapper rig out, smaller baits on, and see what's happening. You do get the little bream off here as well. And they're not going to get that hook in their mouth. That's a 3/0 on the bottom. Let's bring that back. Yeah, I'm getting some really sharp little stabs on there. That's got to be bream, I reckon. So let's find this flapper rig. Put one out with some smaller baits on. I'm almost tempted to put 2 rods out, but that normally ends up in disaster with me. While you're dealing with one, the other one's rattling, and yeah, ends up hard work. So I'm going to stick to the 1 rod. Just change around with the rigs. See if we can't find out what's causing these little taps. My suspicion says it's bream, maybe even wrasse. The only way to find out is to get a rig out there. I think I'll try squid on one and worm on the other. Use those worms up. To move that rod round as well, so it's not on the way, because we've got a few dog walkers now starting to turn up. So I'm going to whip that in, because I'm pretty sure whatever that was, I'll strip that. Oh, I think it's on. There's definitely something rattling on there. Felt like a fish nearly all the way back. Right, let's get this flapper rig on. Out of the way. whatever that was attacking the bait, done a pretty good job. That's all that's left. That was only out a few minutes. The 2-hook flapper didn't produce, so I've now gone back to the pulley and loaded it up again. Let's get this one going. That was a really strange occurrence. I had them rattly bites and it all stopped, and when I picked up to bring it in, I could actually feel something rattling and tapping on there. It was definitely a fish, and I got it nearly all the way back, right up until the edge here, and that just stopped. Absolutely nothing left of the bait, so probably a small fish trying to get onto that big hook. What I'm going to do now, as the sun's lifted up a bit now, I'm going to turn the rod round at a different angle so I'm facing away from the sun. First little rib going out. Very busy this bit of waterway later on. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. Spin the rod round, get a little bit more comfortable. It looks like it's going to be another cracking day. First commercial fishing boat just going out. As I say, that port yesterday, or the day before yesterday when we was here, was very busy. Okay, I think I found the culprit for the funny little bites, and it is our old friend, the spider crab. Did have my suspicions, but I'll try and unhook that now and get it off. There he is, little beast. Yeah, I don't think he's peeling or anything, otherwise he'd be going out as bait. But they don't seem to do much, however. He's just curled up in a ball like that. Let me untangle him and he's just sat there, so I suppose I'll chuck him back, let him pester someone else. A very strange creature. So I've untangled the crab and then dropped him down in the edge here in about a foot of water. And that's just literally gone down on its back and lay there as if it's dead. I thought, well, maybe it's just having a bit of time to recover. So I've come back, sorted the rig, gone back and looked. It's still laying there on its back. This after a couple of minutes. I've literally clipped the rig on, looked back down, and it's gone. So from being laying on its back to disappearing out of sight, bearing in mind you can see quite a bit in the edge here, that's scurried off. I don't know how fast they can move, but unless so it come along and ate it. Strange. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit of what I now know is the crab activity. So instead of being the short sharp plucks on the rod tip, they're longer pulls. I just had another one, got it about halfway back and it's dropped off. So I think I'm going to change the baits a little bit more regularly now for a little while. I've just kept the 2-hook flapper now, little strips of squid, just seeing if I can get a bream. spider crab central out there now. Virtually getting one on every cast. I've had a couple more out, but most of them are dropping off just to get into this shallow water in the edge here. It is literally crystal clear down there, look. That's about 4 foot deep. And there's several down there that have just dropped off and they just sat there. So I'm probably going to draw a line under this session soon. Heading towards 8 o'clock now. That's probably going to be my last session for this trip. I haven't really caught a great deal of fish this trip, but I have learnt quite a bit. I've found some new marks from last time I was here, and the more you speak to locals, the more you find out. This place would definitely be worth another look. I would think night fishing here is going to be absolutely brilliant, fishing in this deep water. And at night I think you'll be able to get nice and comfortable right there on this grass. There's a bench there, get your tripod up on there and everything up there, way up above the water. You can soon drop down on here to land a fish. So yeah, all in all, had a fantastic couple of weeks. Little bit of fishing thrown in. Very nice place. So unless anything happens drastically in the next quarter of an hour, I'm going to wrap things up, wrap all my gear down for the session now. I'll see you again back on Norfolk Beach probably in the next few weeks.